Chihuahua. Yeah.
River City Junction, River City next stop. You're crazy with the heat. Credit is no good for a notion salesman. Board, all aboard.
Oh, why not? What's the matter with credit?
It's old-fashioned. Charlie, you're an anvil salesman. Your firm give credit? No, sir. Nor anybody else. River City next. Cash for the merchandise. Cash for the button hooks.
Cash for the cotton goods, cash for the hard goods, cash for the fancy goods, cash for the soft goods, cash for the novelties and the Perkins and the Perkins.
Look, when you talk. You can talk, you can bicker, you can talk. You can bicker, you can talk, you can talk. You can talk, bicker, you can talk. All you wanna, but it's different than it was.
No, it ain't, but you gotta know the territory. Ever met a fella by the name of Hill?
Hill?
No! Just a minute.
Never heard of any salesman, Hill.
Now he doesn't know the territory.
Doesn't know the territory.
What's the fella's line?
Just a minute. Never worries about his line.
Never worries about his line.
Or a doggone thing. He's just a bang, beat, bell, ringing, big hog, great bone, necker, nothing, rip, roaring every time I fool glass salesman. That's Professor Harold Hill.
Tell us what's his line.
He's a fake kid. He doesn't know the territory.
Look,
What do you talk?
He's a music man.
He's a what?
He's a music man, and he sells clarinets to the kids in the town with the big trombones and the rat-a-tat drums and the big brass bass, and the piccolo, uniforms too with the shiny gold braid on the coat and the big red stripe running down.
well, I don't know much about bands, but I do know you can't make a living selling big trombones. No, sir. Mandolin picks, perhaps, and here and there a juice bar.
No, the fellas there are bands. Boys, bands, I don't know how he does it. But he lives like a king, and he rallies, and he galleys, and he plucks, and he shines. And when the man dances, certainly, boys, what else? The piper pays him. Yes, sir. When the man dances, certainly, boys, what else? The piper pays him.
Yes, sir.
But he doesn't know the territory.
River City, we crossing the state line, Iowa. River City, population 2,212. Board.
All right, if you're all through, I'll tell you about Harold Hill.
You really know Harold Hill.
I've never met him in my life, but I know this much. He's giving every one of us a black eye. After he's finished the town over, the next salesman to arrive automatically gets tarred and feathered and rode out to the city limits on a rail.
Why should he get run out of town on a rail?
Because in order to buy the band instruments, the uniforms, and instruction books, he has to guarantee to teach the kids to play and to form them kids into a band, with himself as the leader.
Sure would like to be around when you catch up with that fella.
Yeah. Well, it won't be on this trip. Not in Iowa. Even the great Professor Hill wouldn't try to sell to these neck-bowed Hawkeyes out here.
Fort! Gentlemen, you intrigue me. I think I'll have to give Iowa a try.
I don't believe I caught your name.
Professor Hill's the name. Harold Hill.
But Greg, what are you doing here? Why didn't you let me know you was coming?
Well, I didn't know I was myself. Besides, how could I know you'd end up in a little tank town like this? You were a pretty big sucker when you were in business with me.
Too many clothes show you the way you work. Besides, I got me a nice, comfortable girl. Ethel Toppelmeyer. The boss's niece.
Gone legitimate, huh? I knew you'd come to no good.
So, What's the new pitch? You're not back in the band business. I heard you was in steam automobiles.
I was.
Well, what happened?
Somebody actually invented one.
No.
Now, what's the lowdown here, Mars?
You'll never get anywhere with these stubborn Iowans, Greg. Besides, we got a music teacher here who will expose you before you get your grip on that.
Male or female?
The music teacher? She's a librarian. Female.
Perfect. That's just what I wanted to hear. If she passes by, point her out to me.
Will do. So how are you gonna start the new pitch?
Same old way. Keep that music teacher off balance. And then, my next step will be to get your town out of the serious trouble that it's in.
River City isn't in any trouble.
Well, then I'll have to create some. I have to create a desperate need for a boys band. You remember? Now, what's new around here? What can I use?
Well, nothing. Except the billiards parlor just put a new pool table.
But they've never had a pool table here before.
No, only billiards.
That'll do. Now either you're closing your eye to a situation you don't wish to acknowledge, or you are not aware of the caliber of disaster indicated by the presence of a pool table in your community. Well, you got trouble, my friend. Right here, I say trouble right here in River City. Why, sure, I'm a billiards player, certainly mighty proud to say, I'm always mighty proud to say it. I consider that the hours I spend with the cue in my hand are golden. Help me cultivate horse sense, and a cool head, and a keen eye. Now, friends, let me tell you what I mean. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pockets in the table. Pockets that mark the difference between a gentleman and a bum. With a capital B, and that rhymes with P, and that stands for pool. Now, I know all you folks are the right kind of parents. I'm gonna be perfectly frank. Would you like to know what kind of conversation goes on while they're open around that hall? They'll be trying out FIFA, trying out Cubans, trying out tailor-mades like cigarette beans, and bragging all about how they're gonna cover up a telltale breath with sense. And one fine night, they leave the pool hall, heading to the dance as the armed liberty men, smiling women, and ragtime, shameless music that'll drag your son and your daughter to the arms of a jungle and it's mass hysteria. Friends, the idle brain is the devil's playground. Trouble.
Oh, we got trouble.
Right here in River City.
Right here in River City.
With a capital T and that rhymes with P, and that stands for pool.
That stands for pool.
We surely got trouble.
We surely got trouble.
Right here in River City.
Right here.
Gotta figure out a way to keep the young ones more home after school.
Our children's gonna have trouble.
Mothers of River City, heed the warning before it's too late. Watch for the telltale signs of corruption. The moment your son leaves the house, does he rebuckle his knickerbockers below the knee?
Trouble.
Or certain words creeping into his conversations. Words like swell.
Trouble.
Aha. And so's your old man.
Trouble.
Well, if so, my friends, you got trouble.
Oh, we got trouble.
Right here in River City.
Right here in River City.
The capital T and that rhymes with P. That stands for pool.
That stands for pool.
We surely got trouble.
We surely got trouble.
Right here in River City.
Right here.
With the T.
With the capital T.
That rhymes with P.
That rhymes with P.
That stands for pool.
That stands for pool.
Did you drop your...
No.
Didn't I meet you?
No.
be in town in a short while. And I...
Good. Hello, Mama.
Hello, dear.
Keep on, Amaryllis. I'll be there in a minute.
Yes, ma'am.
Mama, a man with a suitcase has been following me all over town.
Oh, who?
I never saw him before.
Did he say anything?
He tried.
Did you say anything?
Mama, of course not.
Oh,
All right, Amaryllis, now your exercises. Unity, may a little slower, and please keep the fingers curved as nice and high as you possibly can. Don't get faster, dear.
if you don't mind my saying so, it wouldn't have hurt you to find out what the gentleman wanted.
I know what the gentleman wanted.
What, dear?
You'll find it in Balzac.
Excuse me for living, but I never read it.
Neither is anyone else in this town.
There you go again with that same old comment about the low mentality of River City people and taking it all too much to heart.
Now, Mama, as long as the Madison Public Library was entrusted to me for the purpose of improving River City's cultural level, I can't help my concern that the ladies of River City keep ignoring all my counsel and advice.
But darling, your woman's got a husband and you got none. Why should she take advice from you? Even if you can't quote Balzac and Shakespeare and all those other highfalutin Greeks.
Mama, if you don't mind my saying so, you have a bad habit of changing every subject.
No, I haven't changed the subject. I was talking about that stranger.
What stranger?
With your suitcase, so maybe your very last chance.
Mama, do you think that I allow a common masher now? Really, Mama, I have my standards where men are concerned, and I have no intention.
I know all about your standards, and if you don't mind my saying so, there's not a man alive who can hope to measure up to your blend of Paul Bunyan things. Cause to know much so you can cook it for yourself. And your Irish imagination or else stubbornness in your library full of books.
Well, that isn't the best I've ever heard.
Thank you. Can I have a drink, please?
May I have it?
May I have a drink, please?
Yes, dear.
Is that any way to walk in the house?
Hello.
That won't do at all. I'll have a kiss from my boy. What? The lady over there is your sister, young man.
Hello, Winthrop.
Winthrop, where are your manners?
I'm having a party on Saturday. Will you come? I'd especially like it very much if you'd come. Winthrop.
Well, Winthrop, Amaryllis asked you to her party. Are you going or aren't you?
No.
No, what?
No, thank you.
You know the little girl's name.
I bet he won't say Amaryllis because of his lisp. He's ashamed.
We know all about his list, Amaryllis. Well, Winthrop,
I bet he won't say it. No, thank you, Amaryllis. Amaryllis! Amaryllis! Why does he get so mad at people? Just because he lisps?
It's not only because he lisps. That's just part of it, Amaryllis.
What's the other part?
Never mind. It's just that he doesn't talk very much.
Not even to you and your mother?
No, dear. We all have to be a little patient.
I am patient, even though he never talks to me. But I do to him every night. I say goodnight to him on the evening star. You have to do it the very second you see it, too, or it doesn't count. Good night, my Winthrop. Good night. Sleep tight.
There, darling. If not Winthrop, there'll be someone else.
Never! I'll end up an old maid like you!
For the time being, just say goodnight, my someone. You can put the name in when the right someone comes along.
All right. It's better than nothing.
Yes, it is. Now you can play your crosshand piece.
Now I may play my cousin.
I'm sure we're all very thankful to my wife, you Lady McKechnie for leading the singing. As Mayor of River City, I welcome you, my fellow River Citians, to the 4th of July exercises set up here indoors at Madison Gymnasium, account the weather. 4 The members of the school board will now present a patriotic tableau. Members of the school board will not present a patriotic tableau. Some disagreement about costumes, I suppose. Instead, the local wigwam of Hiawatha will present a spectacle. My wife, in which my wife shall take a leading part. The fireworks spectacle, Last Days of Pompeii, will take place at 9:30, provided the rain stops.
How can it be raining? Didn't the Gazette predict fair?
It sure did, Ewert. That's why we're all prepared for a storm.
Now, the Gazette is accurate most of the time, and you know it, J.C.
You wouldn't last very long in the banking business being
Well, it's supposed to be.
Stop bickering in public!
Hey, old woman,
Never mind.
we heard there's a pool table in town.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Now, just a minute, everybody.
Is it a pool table or isn't it?
Would you allow me to get on with the exercises?
We don't want any more exercises until we get this pool table matter settled.
Let's protect our children. Resist sin and corruption. Smite that devil and keep our young boys pure. May I have your attention, please? Attention, please. I can deal with this trouble, friend, with a right hand, this very hand. Please observe me, if you will. I'm Professor Harold Hill, and I'm here to organize a River City Boys Band. Oh, thank you, my friends. How could any pool table ever hope to compete with a gold trombone? Remember, my friends, what a handful of trumpet players did to the famous fabled walls of Jericho. Oh, failure, parlor walls come a-tumbling down. Oh, a band will do it, my friends. Oh, yes, I mean a boys' band, do you hear me? I said River City's got to have a boys' band, and I mean she needs it today. Well, Professor Harold Hill is on it, and River City's got to have a boys' band, as sure as the Lord of the green apples. And that band's going to be in uniform. Johnny, Willie, Teddy, Fred. And you'll see the glimmer of crashing cymbals. You'll hear the thunder of rolling drums, the shimmer of trumpets. Dun da da, and you'll feel something akin to the electric thrill I once enjoyed when Gilmore, Liberace, Pat Conway, W.C. Handy, the great creator, and John Philip Sousa, all on the very same historic day. 76 strong bones led the big parade, 110 cornets close and high. They were full of rows and rows of the finest virtuosos, the cream of every famous man. 76 strong bones hit the morning sun, 110 cornets right behind. There were more than 1,000 reeds bringing up the light to beat their horns of every shape and kind. There were copper knots of timpani and horse platoon, thundering all along the way. Double bells, ponions, and big bassoon, each bassoon having his big fat say. There were 50 mounted cannon in the battery, thundering harder than before. Clarinets of every size and trumpeters who improvised a full octave higher than the score.
That man is a spellbinder, and I want his credentials. Grab that hoodlum!
Thank you, Professor. Have to make an example out of him. Ringleader, you know. What he does, the gang does.
Jeez, oh, Pete, let me go.
You wild kid, ya! Tagging along my oldest girl last Sunday.
I wasn't either tagging.
Don't you contradict me!
We was just walking together. Jeez, oh, Pete.
You watch your phraseology. I know what you's doing. My little Gracie Senior. Now you stay away from my oldest girl, or you'll hear from me to who laid the rails. Now, Mr. Hill, talk to you about this band thing over at City Hall, 10 o'clock sharp. Men, I want that spellbinder's credentials.
Constable, I'll be responsible for the boy.
You don't know this kid. He's smart. And he's got his gang waiting for him outside.
Now, Constable, I'll teach you how to break up a gang. You who? Oh, young lady. Oh, miss, what's your name?
Zanita, I know I do use beckoning me. Cat.
Do you know Tommy Gillis?
Well, I mean,
Tommy, this is Anita. Escort the young lady home by way of the candy kitchen.
Yes, sir. Do I have to?
You have to.
Yes, sir.
cat.
Professor, you're a pretty bright young fella. You made a couple mistakes, though.
Oh?
The mayor happens to own the billiard parlor and the new pool team.
Oh, and what was my other mistake?
That's Nita. She's the mayor's oldest girl.
Mr. Hill. We'd like to see your credentials. We're the school board.
Academic certificates.
Nothing of the kind.
We need letters, papers. Make him put up a bond.
Wait, what am I hearing? Say ice cream.
Ice cream, but I don't sing, young man.
All right, talk then. Down here.
Ice cream.
No, talk slow. Ice cream. You see, singing is only sustained talking. Now you ice cream. Now you ice cream. Now you, sir. Ladies, from now on, you'll never see one of those men without the other three.
Professor, you're wrong. They hated each other for 15 years.
Ice cream. How can there be
Any sin insincere?
aren't we sincerely in love?
Intermission's over. Go.
I don't suppose you live alone or anything.
No.
I've got some wonderful caramels at the hotel if you...
Mr. Hill.
Professor Hill.
Professor of what? At what college do they give a degree for annoying women on the street, like a Saturday night rowdy at a public dance hall?
Oh, I wouldn't know about that. See, I'm a conservatory man myself. Gary, Indiana, gold medal class, lot 5.
Even should that happen to be true, does that give you the right to follow me around wherever I go? And another thing, Mr. Hill, I'm not as easily mesmerized or hoodwinked as some people in this town, and I think it only fair to warn you that I have a shelf full of reference books in there which may very well give me some interesting information about you. Oh, Professor Hill, we're all agog, simply agog.
On the KV, everyone's so excited about the band. I'm Ethel Tull.
And this is Miss Squire. And Miss Hicks. And of course you met Eulalie McKechnie, our mayor's wife. Isn't it exciting, Eulalie?
Oh, I could not say. I simply could not say. I just can't say at this time. My husband will wish to investigate, I'm sure, and I'm reticent. Yes, I'm reticent.
Well, of course, Mrs. Shin. I understand, but you see, part of my plans for the music include committee on... Wait, do that again. Your foot, the way you raised it just now.
Oh, I have a bunion there that bothers me,
Oh
and...
my, what grace! What a natural flow of rhythm! What expression of line and movement!
Mr. Hill!
Oh, you must accept a chairmanship for the ladies' auxiliary of classic dance. Mustn't she, ladies? Every move you make bespeaks Del Sart. Will you say yes, Mrs. Shin?
Oh, Eulalie McKechnie. That is, dancing. I mean,
Well, then you accept?
Yes, and I would like to say that
Thank you very much. Now, about the piano teacher. Marion Brew, I believe. After all, she is the librarian.
Pick a little
Miser Madison. Madison Gymnasium. Madison Hospital. Madison Picnic Park. That, Miser Madison.
Exactly. Who do you think he was anyway?
Well, I should say, show off. Probably gave the library to the town too, didn't he?
That's just it. When he died, he left the library building to the city.
But he left all the books to her.
She was seen going and coming from this place.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
She made brazen overtures with a gilt-edged guarantee. She had a gold eagle in her eye and a silver voice with a counterfeit ring. Just melt her down in Europe, feel a lump of lead as cold as steel here. Woman's heart should be. Left River City, the library building, but he left all the books to her. Chaucer, Rabelais, Balzac.
Just a minute, please. Your credentials.
Why, yes, of course. I have Virginia's hotel. Come with me. Good night, ladies. Mrs. Peru, do you realize you have the facial characteristics of a cornet virtuoso?
I don't know if I understand you entirely, Professor.
Well, you see, if your boy has that same firm chin and those splendid cheek muscles, well, by George! Not that he could ever be truly great, you understand?
And in the name of Saint British, why not?
Well, you see, all the really great cornet players were Irish. Oh Clark. Oh, Klein. Oh Mendes.
Professor. We are Irish.
No! No! Really? Well, that clinches it. Sign here, Mrs. Peru. Well, fine. That'll be $7 earnest cash. Nothing more due until the first installment payable at the opening of band practice. Thank you. And of course, I'll need the boy's measurements for his uniform.
His uniform?
Hello, son.
Would I have
A stripe? Certainly, my boy. A wide, red stripe running down each side. What do you think of that?
You'll have to excuse Winthrop, Professor. We can't get him to say 3 words a day, even to us. If you get him to play in the band, it will be a miracle. Where are you from, Professor?
Gary, Indiana. In fact, Gary Conservatory was my alma mater.
What's she now?
Gold medal class, about 5. Oh, hello, Miss Marion.
Mr. Hill?
He wants to put Winthrop in the band.
Do you barge in on everyone's home like this?
Marion!
We're not interested.
Well, now say, why not let the boy's father decide?
The boy's father is dead. Anything else?
Professor, I do hope you'll excuse Marion. She's not
Please. I'm sure that at heart she's as lovely as yourself. Good day to you, Mrs. Brewer.
Good day, Professor Hill. Marion Peru!
Has he gone?
I hope not forever. Darling, don't you ever think about your future. All right, darling, all right. Only it is a well-known principle that if you keep the steel in one drawer and the flint in another, you'll never strike much of a fire.
Mama! Winthrop, I know you're in there. Please go to the library and ask Miss Grubb for the book I set aside. It's the Indiana State Educational Journal, 1890 to 1910. It's a big brown volume with black corners.
Do I have to?
You won't have to speak to anyone. I've written it all down for you.
Now what are you up to? What do you need books for at this hour of the night?
I have a feeling the Indiana State Journal will poke some very large holes in the professor's claim.
Zanita! Hey, Zanita! Meet me after supper.
Meet you where?
The footbridge.
Last time the west, and now the footbridge, and where will we meet after that? In the Black Hole, Calcutta? Gas, Tommy. It's Papa!
Didn't I say get that Spellbinder Hills credentials? I said it morning of July 4th,
Yes,
1912,
George.
and now the school board's singing up the street, down the alley, instead of attending to city matters.
Pearson!
Yes.
I found something very interesting in this book about Professor Hill's alma mater,
Is who?
his university.
Oh! I know all about that. In fact, that's all I can ever get out of it. Gary, Indiana, class of '05.
If you'll just take some time to read a bit more about the conservatory, you won't have to look much further. It's on page...
Papa, the Wells Fargo wagon is just coming in from the depot.
At this hour of the day, the Wells Fargo wagon?
It could be the band instrument.
The band instruments? I want that man's credentials!
The Wells Fargo wagon is up and coming down the street. Oh, please let it be for me. Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is up and coming down the street. I wish I knew what it could be.
I got a box of maple sugar on my birthday.
In March I got a great Macintosh.
And once I got to bring her to Tampa.
Reward sent me a bathtub and a cross.
The Wells Fargo wagon is up and coming down the street. A prepaid surprise for COT.
It could be curtains or dishes or a double boiler.
Or it could be, yes it could be, yes you're right, it surely could be something special.
Something very, very special now.
Just for me.
The Wells Fargo wagon is up and coming. Now I don't know how I can ever wait to be. It could be something so much different, but it could be something special. Just for me.
Wells Fargo wagon keep a coming. Wells Fargo wagon keep a coming. Wells Fargo wagon, don't you dare to make a stop until you stop for me.
It's the band instrument.
Well, here you are, Winthrop.
My cornet. Gee, thanks, Professor.
Kids, you will each receive individual instruction in due course. In the meantime, stay off the streets. Get acquainted with your instruments. And think about the minuet in G. La-di-da-di-da-di-da.
Sister, I never saw you see anything as scrumptious
Mr. Hill, but I better hear some by dad tooting out of them horns in short order, or I'll see you in front of the grand jury. Now, Miss Marion, about that book. Hold on, I gotta get something from the librarian. Book.
I've never seen Winthrop so happy. Thank you, Professor.
My pleasure, Miss Peru.
Start her up, Mr. Washburn. Wait till you see the new steps Professor Hill taught us.
All right, what'll it be?
The Shapoopy!
Now, a woman who kisses on the very first date is usually a husband. And a woman who kisses on the second time out is anything but busted. But a woman who waits for the third time around, head in the clouds, feet on the ground. The girl is flagging down, she's a
The girl who's hard to get.
But you can win her yet.
We've been going steady behind your back. We'd rather be doing it in front of your back, but
I'm gonna warn you once more.
George!
Not another poop out of you, madam!
I think he means Pete!
You know what I see written all over you? Reform school! Now get out, you wild kid, get out!
Papa, please. It's Capulets like you make blood in the marketplace. Gas!
You watch your phraseology, young woman. Go home!
Mr. Mayor, I want you to know I'm vouching for Tommy Gillis. That boy's got the confidence of every kid in town. And you'll be lining up to shake his hand by the time our band plays its first concert.
By the time your band plays its first concert, the individual members will have to foregather in wheelchairs on account of the broken legs they'll have from tripping over their beards. Now, I'm gonna tell you something, my fine, feathered, fine, never mind. Jason, you are going over. I want this man's credentials, and I want him tonight. Do not let him out of your sight. He's slippier than a Mississippi sturgeon.
Professor Hill, I think Mayor Shin has behaved abominably. And I think it was wonderful of you to come to Tommy's defense.
Of course. One cannot avoid the situation when a little personal risk is involved. But what is it the poet says? The coward dies 1,000 deaths, the brave man only 500?
I just wish I was a little bit more informed. I've been meaning to ask you about Winthrop's cornet.
His cornet? Mother of pearl keys.
I'm sure it's fine. He keeps telling me about some think system. If he thinks the minuet in keys, he won't have to bother with any of the notes. Now, Professor...
Now, Miss Marion, the think system is a revolutionary method. I'll admit, but I cannot discuss these things in public, so if you'll allow me to call, when may I call?
Why, any night this week?
Piccolo, tackle, piccolo, tackle, cheep, 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 tackle, piccolo, piccolo, Peru! Please, sure, he'll start committee. You were so dear tonight during the
piano teacher in town?
Yes.
Then you must know about this fellow Hill forming a boys' band here.
Yes.
Well, don't let it worry you no more. I got the goods on him in spades. Swindling two-bit thimble rigger.
Who are you?
Name's Charlie Cow. And Bill Salesman. But just now, I'm out to protect the good name of the traveling fraternity from that swindler.
Mr. Cowell, you're making a mistake.
Mistake my old lady's corset cover. That fella's been the raspberry seed in my wisdom tooth just long enough. He spoiled Illinois for me, and he's not gonna spoil Iowa. Say, what kind of music teacher are you anyway? You didn't see through him. He's no more professor than...
I'm sure it's a mistake. Band leaders are always called professor. It's a harmless deception. He's a fine director, and his philosophy...
Now wait just a minute. Fine director. You heard a note of music from any band?
Well, no. But
Nothing, girly girl. He's never formed a band in his life, and he never will.
You'll never catch your train at the depot. You'll have to catch it at the crossing.
No, sir. I gotta leave word, and I can see you ain't the one to leave it with.
I've never met a man that sells anvils before. That's something, well, quite different.
Takes a real salesman, I can tell you that. Anvils have a limited appeal, you know. What am I doing? I miss that train, I'll get fired. And I gotta leave word about that fellow Hill.
Leave word with me.
Not on your tin type. How do I know you deliver these letters?
Try me. There's your train. Now run for it.
Why, you double-dealing little... Who do you think you're protecting? That guy's got a girl in every county in Illinois, and that's 102 counties, not including the librarians like you he cozies up to keep their mouths shut. Neither one of you's heard the last of me, girly girl.
Mari, who was you talking to just now? Hello, Professor Hill.
Up top of the morning to you, Mrs. Peru. Miss Marion.
You and Marion come up and sit. I've got some jelly on the stove.
There's no jelly on the stove, Mama.
Well, put some on.
Shall we set, as your mother said?
Well,
You did ask me to call.
Professor Hill, is it true that you... What I'm trying to say is... I must be very dull company for a man of your experience.
Oh, say, where'd you get an idea like that?
One hears rumors of traveling salesmen.
What have you heard?
Just that... And it stands to reason that... Well, that your attentions to and, well... Teachers might easily be misinterpreted, mightn't they? You know, honestly, mightn't they?
Why?
And so if you say if another salesman or someone were jealous, then they could be downright lies, couldn't they?
Well, what could?
Rumors and things.
Oh, why, of course.
Just proves that you should never believe everything you hear. You sit and discuss things that...
Miss Marion, I'd be delighted to discuss anything in the world with you. But couldn't we do it sitting down? You do sit. Your knees bend and all.
You could sit on the porch steps.
We could also sit on a hollow log or at the footbridge.
I couldn't think of it. I've never been to the footbridge with a man in my life.
Oh, just to talk. Meet me there in 15 minutes.
I just can't. Please, some other time, maybe tomorrow.
My dear little librarian, pile up enough tomorrows, and you'll find you've collected nothing but a lot of empty yesterdays. See, I don't know about you, but I want to make today worth remembering. footbridge. 15 minutes.
15 minutes. Mama! What? I just told Professor Hill that I could meet him at the footbridge in 15 minutes. Glory be and saints be praised, it works! What does? I've been using the think system on you from the parlor. One Grecian urn. 2 Grecian urns. And
Stop! Stop! Listen to this man!
You gullible green grass goat! I'm talking about Harold Hill, road agent, highwayman, pickpocket.
Pickpocket?
Same thing. He's had his hand in your wallet, mister. And yours, madam, and yours, little lady, ever since the first moment he came to this town. There's more documented evidence than you'll ever have time to read. There isn't any band, there never has been any band, and there never will be any band. And if you don't hunt this man down right now like a mad dog, there won't be any Harold Hill either. He'll be on the next train out of town.
Now do you believe me?
Well, what are we waiting for?
I want my money back.
Money back? I want his hide. After him! And when you found him, bring him to the schoolhouse, I say, after him! See you here.
Hey, Greg! Some crazy guy's going all over town and he's spilling everything.
All right, Mars, go get the rig.
I got it.
Wait. What time's the freight leave?
9:40 from the junction.
Oh, it's not even 8:30 yet.
Look, you want to turn a wordle around here and get yourself caught in a trap, you go ahead. But I'm not going to sit around
Don't
here.
worry, Mars. I'll meet you at the hotel in plenty of time. Miss Marion, you're late.
But you said 15 minutes.
Well, I meant, I'd say about 26 years late. Took you all this time to get to the footbridge with Bella.
If you want to know the truth, it was almost longer.
Oh?
Halfway here, I nearly turned back. I suppose I'm not the first to find it easier to think of you when it's not under the spell of your salesmanship.
Now, Miss Marion, surely you don't think I've been selling you anything?
No, you've given me something. That's why I decided to come.
I don't recall giving you
Yes,
anything.
you have. Something beautiful. There were
lot you don't know about me. Excuse me. I'm expecting a cable from Hector Berlioz. And this could be it. Now what?
Who's the salesman here? Sounds like she's selling and you're buying.
Well, I had to keep her off balance, didn't I?
Well, she's so far off balance now, she can't tell the difference between a catboat and a herd.
Go get the ring. Never a peaceful moment in the music business. Now then, where were we?
You're about to tell me what I don't know about you?
Yeah, well, I don't think we need to talk about that now, do we?
No, we don't. Or ever, for that matter, Harold. The librarian hasn't felt much like doing research lately, but she did plenty when you first came here.
Oh? Of what?
About Professor Harold Hill, Gary Conservatory of Music, gold medal class of Ot 5. Harold, there was no Conservatory of Music in Ot 5.
Why, surely there was.
Because the town wasn't even built till Ot 6. I'll see you at the social.
You knew this whole time.
Since July 7th, 3 days after you came.
Why, you little.
Greg! Holly isn't anywhere over here! Let's go check down the creek. Down the creek.
Winthrop!
Oh, no, hold on a minute there, son.
I'm not your son. Please go me.
Hey, not till I talk to you for a minute.
I won't listen. You wouldn't tell the truth anyway.
Would too.
Would not.
Would too. Tell you anything you'd like to know.
Can you lead a band?
No?
Are you a big liar?
Yes.
Are you a dirty rotten crook?
Yes.
Leave me go, you big liar!
Hey, what's the matter? You wanted the truth? Now, I'm bigger than you, so you're gonna stand there and take it, so you might as well quit wiggling. Now look, there's two things you're entitled to know, kid. One, I think you're a wonderful kid. I thought so from the very first. That's why I wanted to put you in the band, so you'd quit moping around feeling sorry for yourself.
What band?
I always think there's a band, kid.
What's the other thing I'm entitled to know?
Actually, that's none of your business now that I think about it.
I wish you'd never come to River City.
No, you don't, Winthrop.
Sister? You believe him?
I believe everything he ever said. The way every kid behaved this summer and acted, especially you. And the parents, too. Does Mama wish he'd never come to River City?
Well, you do, don't you?
No. Now go, Harold, please.
Go on, Professor, hurry up.
I can't go, Winthrop,
Why not?
because for the first time in my life, I've got my foot caught in the door.
Greg! Greg, they're coming that way! That way!
Whoa, Professor! That way, that way!
Virtue has triumphed. The sword of retribution has cut down Professor Harold Hill. And if there are those, as I have heard, that are melting tar and collecting feathers, I will not say them nay! Yeah!
Well, I should think some of you could forget your Iowa stubborn, chip on the shoulder arrogance long enough to remember River City before Harold Hill arrived. Do you remember? Well, do you? I should think some of you ought to be grateful for what he's brought to River City. And if so, you should want to admit it.
You're wasting a great deal of time here. If there's anyone here that does not think Professor Harold Hill should be tarred and feathered, please step forward. You lady, step back! Have you people forgotten how you bought high-priced band instruments? people forgotten? Have you bought expensive uniforms? Have you forgotten the technical instruction booklets? Have you forgotten the clear understanding and warranty that your children be taught to play in a band? Well, where's the band? Where's the band?
Right? Think, men. Think.